All right, this is a video from lesson 1.6, problems 23, 25, and 39. All right. So, I'm going to focus on the explicit formula. 23 says, u sub 1 is 256, u sub 2 is negative 64. Like the way that you find your rate is going to be the root of 2 minus 1, which is just the square root, which is just 1, no root. It's going to be negative 64 over 256. All right, I got to do that in my calculators. All right, it's going to be a negative number, 256. So it's 1/4. So it's negative 1/4. All right, that's my rate. All right, so the explicit formula says u sub n equals the first one, it's given, 256, times the rate, which is negative 1/4, raised to the n minus 1. All right. That is the same thing as, all right, u sub n is 256. It's negative 1 to the n minus 1 over 4 to the n minus 1. All right, so you have to remember, subtraction is division. All right, so I'm just going to take this piece. Subtraction is division. So this negative 1 raised to the n minus 1 is the same thing as negative 1 to the n over negative 1 to the first power. All right, and this 4 here, 4 to the n minus 1, is the same as 4 to the n minus 1 in the denominator, all right? Is this, I could move, it's division, right? So that 4 to the 1, it really goes 4 to the 1 in the numerator over 4 to the n in the denominator. All right? I'm actually going to move, I bet that is 4 raised to some power. 256 is, oh, it is. Probably. All right, the cube, I'm going to figure out what it is. What is 4 to the 5th power? 4 to the 4th power. 4 to the 4th power. This is 4 to the 4th power. So I'm going to have a common. This is 4 to the 4th power. I'm going to leave that in the denominator because I'm probably going to move that 4 down. But I'm going to do negative 1 to the n in the numerator. Actually, they just leave it like that. So they leave it like that. Negative 1 to the n minus 1 over 4 to the n minus 1. Okay, now I'm going to, division is subtraction. So when I move this to the denominator, I'm going to subtract 4 more. So I'm left within the numerator, negative 1 to the n minus 1 over 4 to the n minus 5. And that's how they leave it. All right. Wait, you can't see that, huh? All right. Number 25. We have u sub 2 is 4 and u sub 5 is 1/16. So I'm going to take u sub, I need the rate. It's going to be 1/16 over 4, but the root is 5 minus 2, so it's the cube root. All right, but I'm going to simplify this first under the radical by multiplying by 1 over 4 over 1 over 4. So the rate is the cube root of 1 over 64, which that's just 1/4. Okay, so the rate is the same. I don't have u sub 1, but I know to get to u sub 2, I took u sub 1 and multiplied it by the rate. So I can go back to u sub 1 in order to get my formula. All right, so 4 equals u sub 1 times 1/4, just multiplying by 4. U sub 1 is 16. My brain wasn't calculating. All right, 16. So we have u sub 1, and we have the rate. That's what we need. U sub 1, we have the rate. I'm going to erase them so I don't run out of room. All right, so the explicit formula is u sub n equals the first term. I'm going to go ahead and write that as 4 squared because I bet I'm going to need that to be 4 squared. All right, 4 squared times 1 over 4 raised to the n minus 1. That u sub n is 4 squared. That's the same thing as saying times 1 raised to the n minus 1 over 4 to the n minus 1. All right, 1 to any value, n minus 1. This piece here is just going to be 1. All right, so I'm going to leave that in the numerator. I'm going to move that to the denominator, so it's I subtract 3 because division, subtract 2, not 3, because division is subtraction. So subtract 2, so it's over 4 to the n minus 3. All right, number 39. All right, if you get paid a salary of 1 cent a day and it's doubled each day, how much will you earn in the month of March? Okay, March has 31 days. So I got 1 to 31. All right, the rate, I'm doubling it. So the rate is 2, and u sub 1 is 0.01. All right, remember it's just u sub n equals the first term times the rate to n minus 1. So I'm going to do the sum, n equals 1 to 31 of 0.01 times 2 to the n minus 1 in my calculator. All right, so I'm going to go to math. I'll back out a little bit so I can see math. And you go down to summation and hit enter. All right, I'm going to do my variable. 1 to 31. I'm going to go over here and put in, I'm just going to put in 0.01 times 2 raised to the variable minus 1. Variable minus 1. Did I get it all in there? No. All right, then I'll hit enter. Oh, that's not right. I went from 3 to 13. That's why, not 1 to 31. Okay, let's try that again. I'm going to put it in without facing you. All right, n is 1 to 31. It's 0.01 times 2 raised to the n minus 1. Okay, now you can see I've got it in there right. Hit enter, and that's your answer.